Thanks for tuning in to 15 Minutes with Fuzz. By the way, tuning in is one of those funny phrases like videotaping that kids who don't have analog radios won't ever understand what that means. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. I am your host, Fuzz Martin. I started this podcast because I got sick of seeing negative posts on our local community Facebook groups, and I wanted to showcase all the positive things going on in our community. And you know what? There are so many positive things in our community, even more than the negative ones. The negative ones just get more likes, which is ironic and, frankly, wrong. On today's episode, I am talking with someone who has devoted her life to helping kids who are going through very rough, often tragic encounters and making sure that they get the justice that they deserve. Heidi Kilbourn is a forensic interviewer with Lakeshore Regional Child Advocacy Center. They provide a neutral ground for kids who have been abused, neglected, or otherwise harmed to share their story and bring justice to those who have harmed them. Heidi is also a well-known fitness instructor in our area. She's now a coach at CrossFit Develop in Slinger. And as April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, she is working with CrossFit Develop to raise funds for the CAC with their Fit for Kids charity WOD. And we'll tell you what that means coming up. This is also one of those episodes where I learned a lot, and I'm excited for you to learn about it as well. And with that, here's 15 minutes on the Fit for Kids charity WOD to benefit Lakeshore Regional Child Advocacy Center with Heidi Kilbourn on 15 Minutes with Fuzz. Heidi, hello, welcome.
Hello.
It's been so long since we've seen each other.
I know. I've missed you.
Yes, I missed you as well. Heidi and I used to work out together all the time, and she still works out all the time, and I need to work out all the time. So let's talk first before we get into that part. Let's talk about what you do. So you're with Lakeshore Regional Child Advocacy Center. What does the Child Advocacy Center do?
Lakeshore Regional Child Advocacy Center. So from here on out, I'll just refer to it as the CAC,
Okay.
Child Advocacy Center. We're located in Saukville. Our main office is in Saukville. What we do at the Advocacy Center is it's kind of a one-stop shop for a piece of the investigation for child abuse.
Okay.
What will happen at the CAC is typically when we have a case come to us, we have law enforcement come, whoever's investigating the case. We have CPS come, and then we'll have the family with the child come with the non-offending caregiver.
Sure.
If it's a caregiver case. We have advocacy there at the CAC, and then we also have community advocacy there as well. And I can tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. But
Sure.
The focus is really to kind of get the whole team together, the whole multidisciplinary team, so the MDT, get the whole team together in one place so that kids don't have to go to like a police station to be interviewed or be interviewed at their school or something like that. So the CAC is a neutral territory, basically.
Sure. So it's not as intimidating if you've had something happen to you or a child has had something happen to them that they don't have to go to a police station where it can be very intimidating, even though they're not trying to be. It's just because the kind of place that it is. So this serves as that neutral ground for them.
Exactly. Yep. We spend some time talking about the case. We talk to the non-offending caregiver about the case a bit and kind of learn what their concerns are. And then as a forensic interviewer, then I do the interview with the child. So I sit down in a room with the child. It's just the two of us one-on-one. There are cameras in that room and a microphone.
Sure.
The kids always know about that. We don't keep any secrets from them or anything. And then the investigators will watch from a separate room. So they're watching live and, they can take notes or make phone calls if they need to regarding the case.
So it is kind of like you see on TV a little bit when it comes to that kind of setup. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. They'll get to watch and see everything like on a big TV, basically.
Sure.
And meanwhile, the non-offending caregiver will be in another room meeting with the advocacy team.
Okay.
And so my job as a forensic interviewer is there's a certain protocol that I need to follow in asking questions. I need to establish certain things with the kids, that they know the difference between a truth and a lie and things like that.
Right.
And then I have a very specific way that I need to ask questions to the child in order to, like a non-leading, in order to elicit information about the disclosure or the discovery of abuse.
Sure. What ages do you work with from that? All ages, or?
Typically, children that are 3.5
Okay.
can be interviewed. Sometimes we'll interview children that are younger than 3.5, but that's kind of a crapshoot.
Sure.
Depending on their language skills.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the way up to teenagers who are 17. But we also interview vulnerable adults as well. So really there's not a cap on the age group, but typically it's children.
You've worked with other child and women's advocacy programs before in this. So what drew you to this?
Prior to coming to the Child Advocacy Center, I was working for Friends in Washington County and as the sexual violence victim advocate, and I also worked with victims of domestic violence as well. I did that for 6 years, I think, 6 or 7 years. And that is kind of considered a community advocacy support agency. So every county in Wisconsin has one of those.
Sure.
And so when there's a forensic interview, like for Washington County, then we would call Friends and ask them to provide an advocate to our agency.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I was always that advocate that would come to the Child Advocacy Center.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so as they were building and seeing higher volume, they were able to create an advocacy position, a full-time advocacy position there. Mm-hmm. And so then I took that. I moved over there and took that advocacy role.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So now, how many children do you see on like an annual basis, or how many children come through the CAC?
Yeah, it kind of ebbs and flows. There are certain kind of like patterns that we see, sometimes, a lot of times kids that are around mandated reporters like teachers or doctors, therapists, we'll see like when kids return to school, there's always a big influx of reports. But I brought some stats with me. Last year we had 555 kids were forensically interviewed.
Okay.
And that's between the Saukville location and then we have a satellite location inside of Sheboygan PD.
Okay. So you serve Washington, Ozaukee, and Sheboygan counties, is that right?
And Manitowoc.
Okay.
Yeah, we just added Manitowoc last year. I think it was our first year with Manitowoc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well,
so I'd love to be able to, continue to expand. There's there's a few other counties close to Washington County that I think could really benefit from having a CAC. So.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, what other kind of stats do you have?
Another big part of what we do is we have a medical team that comes on Thursdays.
Okay.
And so that medical team is from Children's Wisconsin, and we have a child abuse pediatrician that comes, and then a medical assistant as well. And so we're able to provide child abuse exams, whether that be for sexual abuse, drug endangerment, physical abuse, neglect, if kids are going into foster care, that medical team can do those kind of visits. And so the medical team saw 98 children at our center alone last year.
I'm glad that you guys are there to see them and that there's somebody to help them. It's unfortunate that there's too many kids, but at least there's somebody there advocating for them and helping get them the help that they deserve. So to run the CAC, what kind of resources does that organization need?
Well, it is a nonprofit. The resources that we need is finances.
Right. Yep.
We kind of get our resources from private donors, from some of the counties that we work with, and fundraising.
I work with a number of nonprofits. I know that's kind of a full-time thing all the time, trying to raise money and make sure that you have the resources to support your mission, and your mission is very important. With that, coming up, there's a fundraiser. But first, you've been involved with fitness for a long, long time. People around the area know you. You're a competitive athlete, and you're also a coach at CrossFit Develop and Slinger, right? Mm-hmm. How and when did you get into CrossFit?
I started CrossFit in 2014.
Okay.
And I had been a fitness instructor at a number of different places around West Bend and Washington County, teaching Zumba and TRX and Pilaxing and all kinds of...
Pilaxing? Is that Pilates and boxing?
It is. It was so fun. Yeah. It was so fun. Teaching a bunch of different kind of classes. And my husband had started going to CrossFit and he loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I really just think you're going to love CrossFit. And I was like, yeah, right. You know, I'm a little stubborn about things.
Sure.
It has to be my idea. So finally he convinced me to try it, and I left everything behind for that. So I've been doing CrossFit for a while, since 2014. The coaching that I do in Slinger at CrossFit Develop, I'm not a CrossFit coach.
Okay.
I'm the Olympic lifting coach.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I'm strictly the barbell coach there.
All right.
So I coach on Saturdays and Sundays in the morning, just the Olympic barbell.
I will say, I spoke on a couple episodes ago about how my daughter Bree just took 8th in the state in powerlifting, but you were a big influence on her. She has always looked up to you and Tammy and some other people that she saw when she was 12, 13 years old.
Bree's so cool. I'm like so proud of her.
Yeah. So, but if you've never worked out with Heidi, I recommend working out with Heidi because it's a lot of fun, and you will be inspired to do more and shout real loud. So
I was going to say, it might get loud.
it might get loud, and that's okay. April is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and coming up on April 1st through April 3rd, the CAC is holding the Fit for Kids charity WOD. First of all, for listeners, what does a WOD mean?
A WOD is an acronym for Workout of the Day.
Great. And so that means it's some sort of different in the theory in CrossFit, if you've never done it, or in other high intensity interval training things, is the workouts are always different. You can change it up, make you not get bored with doing the same thing over and over, repetitive kind of motions. And so then it'll challenge you on a WOD. So tell us about kind of what people can expect for the WOD for that day.
Okay, so I just realized I didn't bring the WOD with me, but I wrote it, so I should be able to remember what it is. So for those that attend a CrossFit gym, there's a separate WOD for that. And then for those that don't have access to like a CrossFit gym or any gym at all you need is a jump rope to do it. So there's two different versions. The CrossFit kind of version is, I believe it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thrusters.
Okay.
And then 1 up to 10 bar over burpees.
Okay.
So you have 0 to 7 minutes to complete as many reps as possible of that. And then you have a minute rest. And then from 8 minutes to 15, you get to do a barbell complex, which this is embarrassing, but I can't remember what I wrote. I think it's a clean, a hang clean, and a jerk.
Okay.
Let's go with that. But don't quote me.
Yes. And part of the thing is keeping you on your toes, right? So if you show up and it's different, that's part of the plan.
Yes. Yeah, it's all planned. And then the community version of that is like the structure is similar, but like I said, you don't need a whole lot of equipment, just a jump rope. So it's single unders. I think it's 100, then 80, then 60, 40, 20 single unders. And then you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 air squats.
Okay.
So you have the first, I think, 7 minutes to do that. And then from 8 to 12, it's max burpees to a target.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew it. The cool thing is if I'm doing it at home, I can cheat. No, I wouldn't do that to myself, and I wouldn't do that to you.
So we have burpees in both of the workouts, and the burpee is kind of the bane of a lot of CrossFit fitters' existence, but we really kind of thought about it, and we said a lot of these kids like get knocked down and they keep just jumping up.
Yeah, good
call. So it seemed fitting to have burpees.
I agree. As much as I have disdain for burpees, I agree. Can people drop into CrossFit Develop to do that?
Yes. So there's going to be a few gyms that are doing the fundraiser. CrossFit Develop is the one in Washington County that's doing the fundraiser. So Friday they'll be doing the CrossFit version all day on Friday.
Okay.
For all of their scheduled classes. And then for the community version from 10 until 11 on Saturday, they're going to offer the community version. So anyone who wants to come can drop in at CrossFit Develop in Slinger.
Excellent. How do people sign to do that, to sign up for the event? I assume if they're doing the community version, they need to sign up, right?
On Facebook, we have an event page.
Okay.
And people can sign up via that.
I will put the link to that in the show description. If you're listening to this on like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can just click on the notes and it'll take you there.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I think that would be the easiest way to sign up. Otherwise, they can register for Saturday's class via the CrossFit Develop website.
Okay, cool. How much does it cost, and can people make extra donations? How does that work?
Yeah, so on the event page or on the link, there should be a link to the PayPal as well. So folks have asked if they don't really want to do the workout we just want to donate X amount, and that PayPal link would be appropriate. We love checks too, so anything could just be mailed right directly to the agency.
Okay. What about cash? Do you guys say cash? I'm just
we'll allow it.
Okay, all right, cool. No, we don't take cash.
No,
we're just credit card or check. No, it's super cool. I think it's great what you're doing. I think your career is great, and the fact that you've dedicated yourself to helping others is wonderful. But I am looking forward to maybe seeing you at a gym again sometime soon. And again, the Fit for Kids charity WAD is April 1st through the 3rd. It will support the Lakeshore Regional Child Advocacy Center. Heidi Kilbourn, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks again to Heidi Kilbourn of the Lakeshore Regional Child Advocacy Center for coming on the show. Again, Heidi, Jen Jarrett, Tammy Michaels-Wibben, Megan Michelle, Jennifer Schuster, Jen Fullhart, and others were huge influences on my daughter Bree's life and led her into the world of being a strong woman. And for that, I am always thankful. Join Heidi April 1st through the 3rd for their Fit for Kids charity WAD. Thank you for streaming 15 Minutes with Fuzz. You keep me doing what I'm doing. If you have an idea for the show, you can reach me at fuzz.cc/guest. That's fuzz, fuzz.cc/guest. New episodes come out every Monday. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week right here on 15 Minutes with Fuzz.